What's up, guys? It's your boy Santos Destroyer, and I'm back at y'all with my first tier list video. So, yeah, I'm about to basically do all of those characters and basically rank them in terms of power and ability. So let's start out with Ashura. Ashura is probably going to be my first S tier. Quick S tier right there, just because of who he is and due to the fact he's the son of Sage's Six Paths. Now we have Onoki, who I'm putting into the A tier category just due to the fact that he has particle style, all OP releases, and now we're just gonna do easy people. Sakura, Part 1 Sakura, obviously D tier. Part 1 Hinata, obviously D tier. Part 1 Ino, same D tier. And that's not the order, that is the order I wanted. Anyone else easy? Oh, Renegon Madara, easy, God tier. I'm putting him above Ashura because he gets stronger. Um, Who else? Kaguya, yes, strongest character in this list. Sage's Six Paths, yes, up there as well. Um, Hashirama, up there. From Madara, Hashirama's Madara. Madara right there. Snow Rinnegan. Indra for Ashura. Now we get to some difficulty. Part 1 Choji. Anko, our first B tier. Because she is a Jonin after all. She may be low B tier, she is still B tier nonetheless. Um, Asuma's high B tier, or higher B tier, I should say. Part 2 Choji is C tier, but War Choji is stronger than Part 2 Choji. Ino is C tier, despite the fact those two are kind of interchangeable. Danzo is also A tier because he is kind of strong. Nagato, Prime Nagato is A tier because he has the Renegon and whatnot. Um, Now Darui is very difficult. I don't know where to put him because this is the thing about Naruto. Put Darui in A tier. The thing about Naruto, can't really judge people based off of strength alone. As I put Deidara also into A tier. People have like strategies and techniques that they can employ to defeat other people. Raikage, I'm putting him above Deidara as well, like as just because he has lightning and Deidara hates lightning style. And the Raikage is proven to be extremely durable. So I'm not saying he could tank Deidara's C0, but he has a good chance of surviving. Kid Gara, yes, he's C tier. Hear me out. Disagree in the comments all you want. Um, Kid Gara was killing people like young. That's my rationale for putting adult Gara into B tier and above Asuma, if not in A tier. Because adult Gara is very, or teen Gara, it's underrated, but I end up putting him in B tier because it just seems fitting. 8 Gates Mike Guy was difficult because I didn't know if I should put him be above Indra and Ashura because he could critically wound Madara, but I do put him in I put him right there because I do at the end of the day believe that he could take out those four if it really came to be. Haku just did not get enough screen time to get the justice he deserved. I feel like I will make a what if about Haku just for my 400 subscriber special. What if he never died or something like that? Put both Hanzos in A tier because he was a Kage after all. Now, Hedon I put in A tier just due to his sheer durability. He's an A tier for literally no other reason other than the fact that he is a S rank missing Nin and he's inhumanly durable. Now, part 2 Hinata I put in C tier. Kisame I put in A tier. I debated whether to put him above the Raikage or not, but I ultimately decided to put him um I decided to put him above the Raikage because of Samehada, and I put Prime Itachi. I'd take him over Kisame. Just being completely honest. Maybe that just seems a bias I have, but I'd take him. Jugo is S rank missing nin criminal. I'm not putting him there because I don't think Jugo could take out Danzo. As dumb as that sounds. I'm putting him right in front of Darui because when he goes curse mark, he's really, really strong. Now, Kabuto is also difficult because in the part 1 data book, it stated that Kabuto is on the same level as Kakashi, but you'll see where I put Kakashi later on, and that means should put Kakashi right there, you're thinking, but I'm assuming maximum output for each picture of the character. And I'm assuming double MS Sharingan for Kakashi. So that means Kamui Lightning Blades. So I put him in A tier for now. He probably will get moved later. And now I'm just looking for other easy people to find. Um, I found Rock Lee. That's Mike Guy, sorry. I put him in A tier because he's not using the 8th gate. This is where this idea of you can beat people that are stronger than you, but you can also lose to people that are weaker than you, it comes in. Like, for example, I feel like Might Guy could beat Kisame because he uses taijutsu, not ninjutsu. But I don't think Might Guy could beat the Raikage, you know, without going 8th gate. So by that logic, I'd have to put Kakashi next to Guy or not. So this is a really big internal debate because there's not really a good way to power scale Naruto because weak people can beat strong people throughout Naruto by using certain tactics and abilities. So it's just really, really hard to do, to be completely honest. So I ended up moving Kakashi a couple spots forward just by thinking about how powerful his Kamui Lightning Blade Susanoo would be. I ended up putting him right in front of Itachi because Kakashi with double Kamui is just OP. Now, Stage Mode Kabuto doesn't get enough credit, I believe, personally. Like I put him in A tier, right behind Nagato, but I just don't feel like he gets enough credit because he did fight EMS Sasuke and reanimated MS Itachi, and he was putting them on the defensive due to this power of his Sage arts. The only way they managed to beat him was to cast a genjutsu that makes you accept yourself for who you really are. And the only person I think would beat that is Nagato, and that's basically spamming the Renegon's abilities to combat him. Kakazu, I feel like Kakazu is just one above Datara, if not really close to him, because I don't know if Kakazu's hearts work like they'll disintegrate all at once, or if I just didn't know. I just put him in front of Datara, not in front of the Raikage though. But clearing out this tier list slowly but surely. And again, if you have any disagreements or comments, just please leave them in the comment section down below. Um, so the next thing I did, I was still debating where to put Kakuzu there. I ended up putting him right there in front of Datara, as you see. But next I took Konkoro, and he is C tier. Now, Karin, she can take out heavy hitters with her chakra chains, but in terms of raw fighting power, she's not that high. I put her there just for now, but I will make changes. Like she can beat people in B tier. Her power is B tier, but her execution C tier. Kiba is C tier. There's just no way around that. Killer B is I put him behind the Raikage, but then you gotta think about the war arc and just shows how powerful Jinchuriki are in the war arc. So I had to move him up a bit. I had to move him up. It if not at least between Kakashi and Itachi, if not move him up further, because his tail beast would help him against Genjutsu. So I ultimately end up putting him right there. Between Onoki and Kakashi. Kimimaro, another character who died way before his time. He was actually really strong, like for his time period. So I'm giving him a B tier because he had so much promise. Now Conan's an A tier just off the fact that she was able to hold off or fight against Obito for a while. I do believe I move her position later on. Uh, I'm blank. Kurenai, I put her right there. Rock part two Rock Lee. Now I did not know where to put him. I just stuck him in C tier for the time being, so I could just think things out, just see how the list pans out. Um, May, I put May. I feel like May goes right in A tier because she's actually really strong. And this is something I must say. The gap between tiers is massive. Like the gap between A and S is massive. They feel like each gap gets bigger the higher you go up. So the gap between D and C may not be that big, but the gap between A and S is like massive. Well, except for Nagato and Sage Mode Kabuto, but other than that, the gap is massive. Um, right now, just basically, now I'm looking at Mifune, and I think I put him like solidly right. Well, I moved Gar first, and now Gar at top A tier because I was debating on if Gar could beat Kabuto, and I think he could because Kabuto's not really known as a speed character, especially in that form. So I just put Gar ahead of him because Gar can control the landscape. Mifune is a solid B tier because even though he has beaten Hanzo, he's not like super powerful. Minato is underrated. I put him in A tier because he's the Yellow Flash and he's super super strong and especially with the Nine Tails cloak. I had to put him right there because I feel like Minato could beat everyone else on that list. Crippled Nagato on his own is pretty weak, but with the six paths of pain, I did put him above the Hanzos because the paths of pain did kill, you know, Hanzo. Now Sage mode Naruto. Now this is hard because I don't know where to put. Sage mode Naruto has beaten the six paths of pain, right? So I decided to put him there because it just makes sense, even though he couldn't touch these S rank criminals. But Naruto, Kid Naruto is C tier. Um, Naruto Shippuden is high C tier, if not low B tier. I put him low B tier. Um, Chocolate Cloak Naruto. I did not know if this was KCM Naruto or adult Naruto. I believe I later on assumed that it was adult Naruto, so I believe I moved him up. I put Joni Neji in high B tier, just due to the fact that He's kind of OP. Kid Neji is C tier, low C tier. Obito, I put Obito in S tier, and I don't really want to hear it, even though it looks like I put him H. I actually moved him up to S tier just because Obito in the War Arc is a monster. Like he is so strong. Even as a kid, he got so much better, so much faster than everyone else. It wasn't really fair. It was kind of ridiculous. Um, Orochimaru. Now, Sanya is where I might start making people mad, but Orochimaru is the strongest Sannin. That's just how it is. It's Orochimaru, Jiraiya, Tsunade. That's the order. Now, all three Sannin are A tier. Where in A tier? I put Orochimaru. Orochimaru is an S rank criminal. I put him above Kisame because of his stamina. I put Jiraiya. I believe I put him above Darui, but not above Jugo. I was debating. I put him above Jugo. Um, and then I put Tsunade. I put her right there, but I honestly wasn't even sure because now I was just thinking, can Darui take out um Konan and Hidan? Tsunade. Thinking, should I move Darui or should I just keep him where he is? So I decided to move Tsunade up one or two. Um, I also decided to move Darui down a bit, and I felt like that would just balance everything out, make sure everything was like working again. Then I decided to move Darui back up because I am very um like indecisive. That's the word I'm looking for. So I put Rock Lee, Kid Rock Lee's in C tier, and then I noticed that to myself that both Rock Lees are in C tier, and I said, wow, I have made a massive mistake, and now I was just really thinking about how strong the Genin were compared to Haku. Um, and I just realized how big of a mistake I made. So I basically just grammed and fixed that mistake. I put Sai middle C tier. I mean upper high C tier. I mean he's not so strong, but he's not exactly fodder either because he was trained by Anbu and Root. I put part two Sakura right there because she is very useful. Like she's helpful. I put her above Kankuro because she saved Kankuro's life. Um, not doing justice for parts um part one Neji. I just made a mistake. I put him there. Sasori is above one above Datara because he has an invincible puppet body. Sasuke is C tier. Even I'd put him in front of Naruto because he beat Naruto in part one. Um, Now EMS Sasuke is just super hard to rank. And yeah, I fixed a Rock Lee mistake that I had before, or I was thinking of fixing it. I had to put him B tier because I just thought about Kimimaro. I just didn't know where to put him at this point. Decided maybe I put him there, leave him there. I had to put Naruto and Neji above Kimimaro because I think Naruto and Neji individually and Rock Lee could beat Kimimaro now. Now EMS Sasuke, I had to put him A tier because like right there, just because of who he beat. He's not as skilled as Itachi, but he beat Itachi. If Itachi was healthy, well, MS Itachi would eventually like wear out, whereas EMS Sasuke can just use the Sharingan forever. I put him above Kakashi at the end because he can use the Sharingan forever. And his abilities for the Sharingan are pretty powerful as well. So next I see is adult Sasuke. Now adult Sasuke is easily God tier. It's easily S tier because it's Ren of Sharingan, it's EMS, Indira's Chakra, Sage Chakra, Sage Six Paths, you know. And that's when I assumed it was adult Naruto, so I just put him there, and Naruto's a bit stronger. Sasuke, Shikamaru is a solid B tier. Solid C tier. He's top of the C tier. Shino, solid C tier. Um, Shisui, Shisui. Shisui by all rights should be A tier, and I think I do put Shisui in A tier. I could put him one below Don, right in the middle of A tier somewhere. Because I feel like that's an accurate representation of him, like, of what we've seen of Shisui. No, he has a pretty cool Susanoo. Like, I don't think Shisui could beat my guy. It was a hard person to rank for Shisui at least. Um, I know I settled putting him in A tier, just like towards the back of A tier. I put Guy above Danzo and Jiraiya above Danzo as well. Um, and I put Guy above Datara. And yeah, I think I leave it at that. Now, Shisui still haunts me because his strength is hard to measure. It's hard to quantify. You know, Zetsu's not a fighter. Zetsu was an easy D tier. Um, Tobirama is A tier, high A tier. He's right behind Minato because Tobirama is so slept on. It's not even funny. Ten Ten is mid C tier. Um, since she knows martial arts and stuff, she's like competent. Not saying the other girls aren't competent, but Tamari is above Kankuro. Suigetsu. Suigetsu is hard because he's extremely durable because of his water like hydrification technique, but um, it it gets messy, very messy. But other than that, I think personally he's a solid B tier, solid B A tier character, and I I don't honestly don't know where to put him. If you guys have any better suggestions, I think I put him in B tier. Just a solid B tier for Suigetsu because he's not crazy strong, but he's not weak either. So Prime Hiruzen is obviously A tier. Um, I put him right behind. I put him right in front of Kakashi, or right right between Kakashi and Itachi, behind Itachi, Shimaru. Um, Yamato. I think Yamato's a solid B tier as well. Yeah, Yamato's like a solid B tier. Yeah, he's like a solid B tier. And then we have Zabuza, possibly one of the most slept on characters in the entire show as I move Rock Lee up a bit. And now we get to Zabuza, one of the most slept on characters in this show. Don't think Zabuza is fodder just because he got killed off early. He's actually really strong. And I think Zabuza personally is a solid B tier just because like who he is as a ninja. Excuse me. So I do believe I put him in the B tier. Yes, I do. Doing on the weaker side. And yeah, that is my tier list. If you liked, share, subscribe. I'm Asanto Destroya, and I am out.